Hello everyone, I am FBC and today I will be ranking every NFL home uniform. I will be doing jerseys alone later, so subscribe if you want to see that in the future. Just remember, these are my opinions. Let me know what you would change in the comments down below, but let's get right into the rankings. I will be changing up the way I'm ranking these from the first video. I will be ranking them by tier rather than alphabetically. So we will be starting with D tier, going up to C tier, B tier, A tier, and finally S tier. Now, first up on this list, we have the Chicago Bears. Now, the Bears, the only problem I see, but it's really jarring to me, the colors don't look right. They look like the kind of colors you'll see on like color blindness tests, and I really just can't get behind the way they look. I think they should be different colors, just slight shade differences, and it would make this jersey so much better. Instantly move it up to B tier, but for now I'm going to have to put it in D tier. Now, next up, we have the Cleveland Browns. These jerseys are an atrocity. The colors do not mix well. I really don't like the brown and the orange. They just don't mix together. There's just no life or soul in the uniform, but the problem I really see is the lack of a helmet design. Every other team on this list has either their logo or something to do with their logo on the helmet except the Browns. I mean, obviously they can't do that because it is just the Browns helmet, but I feel like it makes them more of a disaster. Without this, I might have moved them up to C tier, but that problem just makes them one of the worst jerseys in the NFL. So next up, we have the New England Patriots. Now, I personally don't mind the colors on this jersey, but the problem is these stripes. It's not that I don't like stripes in general, but these look like they're unfinished. They look like they should keep going down and be like overall straps on the jersey, but they just don't. They sit there and they stop right at the top, right above the number, and I just really can't get behind how it looks. It looks awful. They could have simply just curved it or made it a sharp angle rather than just stopping it flat, and it would have been so much better. But I cannot like bring myself to like this uniform one bit simply because of those stripes. And so that concludes our D tier. Now we have C tier. These are the uniforms that I think have some flaws but are serviceable. All these could definitely use some tweaks, but I don't think they're necessarily as bad as D tier. Now, first up, we have the 49ers. And to be honest, I don't like the colors. I don't think the red goes with the tan very well. That's the only problem I have with it. Otherwise, it's a good jersey, but I just don't like the way the tan looks, especially on the helmet. So for that, I'm going to have to put it in C tier. Now, next up in C tier, we have the Buffalo Bills. Again, not terrible, but I just don't like the way they use the colors. The colors don't mesh well on this jersey, and I just don't like the way they set them up. This could have been much better, but the way they use the red and the blue are too jarring and contrasting from each other for me to like it. So I'm going to have to put it in C tier. Now, next up, we have the Arizona Cardinals. I don't hate the idea of keeping the jersey and the pants with the same color, but I think it's really poorly executed when you make the helmet and the cleats white, whereas the jersey and the pants are red. I think there are teams that do this kind of thing much better later on, and I don't think I can give the Cardinals any higher than a C tier. And so next up, we have the Indianapolis Colts. They have okay uniforms. I'm not totally opposed to them. The biggest problem is they have that same problem as the Patriots where they have the unfinished straps, but they're definitely less of an offender as the Patriots have bright red for these straps, whereas the Colts only have a white. So I think they get away with it a little bit better, and I think they have a little bit better of a design, so they deserve a C tier. Now, the Raiders have a very simple jersey design. They just have black and silver, and that's okay. Some of these other teams higher up on the list will have jerseys that are just two simple colors with no extra design. The problem is these look unfinished. nothing is on the jersey itself. They're not even the logo. It's the same problem as the Browns, where the Browns don't have their logo on the helmet. The Raiders have nothing to go with the jersey, so it just looks kind of empty, especially on the field. So I think I have to put these at C tier. And so next up, we have the Seattle Seahawks. Now, it's not that I don't like these jerseys. I actually like them quite a bit, but there's two major flaws that really bring them down into C tier. Firstly, I don't like the way the numbers are. I don't think the checkerboard pattern fits the numbers on the jersey, but it's not that big of a deal because you can't really see it unless they close up on a single player. The bigger problem for me is the way they use the green. I like the white highlights, but the lime green is just not good. It contrasts way too much with the other colors on the uniform, and it takes away from the rest of the design completely. So for that, I have to put them in C tier. So next up, we have the Tennessee Titans. Now, this jersey and uniform in general, I just don't think everything clicks with it totally. I understand the idea they were going for here, but I just can't get behind it, and for that I'm gonna have to put it in C tier. And so last but not least, to end off our C tier, I have the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I really like the design of the jersey, the pants, all of that. I think it's really cool. The biggest problem I have with these jerseys is the helmet. I really don't like the matte helmet, especially with the purple. And it looks really ugly during the actual games they used it. If they had normal helmets, they would have maybe made B tier, even A tier. I just really can't get behind the way the helmets look, and for that, I have to put them in C tier. And now we have B tier. These are the uniforms that are just okay. They have some very minor flaws, but they don't take away from the overall design. I don't think they're top level, but I also think they're pretty good. I will be rapid firing through these, so get ready. First up, we have the Bengals. Now, I like the way they use the whole uniform to look like a Bengal, but the problem I feel like is there's too much going on with the black and white, especially for home jerseys, and they don't have enough orange to actually make them look like a Bengal like the design is trying to go for. Otherwise, they're pretty good. I have the Chargers up next, and the only thing I have to say is if they used the navy blue rather than the sky blue, they probably would have made it up to A tier. I do like the design of the bolt wrapping around. Um, Broncos have uniforms that they just started using last year, and I don't think they're bad, but I also don't think they're amazing. They're pretty solid, and I don't have much else to say. Makes it a little bit more unique, but overall, just solid uniforms. The Commanders have uniforms that they started using recently, but they still stick to the core principles of the Redskins uniforms that came before them. They have a nice design, but I think the mustard yellow could be altered to more of a gold, and it would fit the team a lot better. Now, next up, we have the Miami Dolphins. I like the way they use the orange so it doesn't look too jarring. They're overall just good jerseys, so I think they deserve B tier. All right, now next up we have the Philadelphia Eagles, and I like the way they use the wings on the helmet, but the problem is the color just doesn't sit right with me. It looks like a washed out green, but other than that, I think they're pretty good jerseys. All right, and now we have the New York Giants. Again, just a simple design with a good use of the highlight colors, so it deserves a B tier. Now, next up we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they're solid uniforms. I don't think they have too many jarring features, but it does make them a bit boring. I do like the way they look on the field. They just look like a more modern version of the older uniforms, so I think they deserve B tier. Okay, the audio kind of cut out here, but all I said was that the Packers jerseys look nice, they look modern while still keeping the history up. Now, I'm going to group the Panthers and the Texans together because I think they're simple uniforms and there's not much to say about them, so I think they both deserve a B tier. Now, the Rams are the next team, and I like the way they use the horns on the helmet, but I just don't like the colors. I think they're a bit too contrasting and jarring for a home uniform. Okay, again, the audio cut out here, and I apologize deeply for that. But I basically just said how The Cow have really nice jersey designs. I like the color combination they have, and also how they stop the stripes, unlike somebody else on this tier list. But yeah, I do really like the Cowboys jerseys. I think they deserve their spot. The Jets are up next, and they started using these jerseys very recently, and I like them. I like the way the darker green is used here, and I think it fits them well. And I especially like the helmets, the way it looks, especially with the shine. So I think they deserve their spot in A tier. I can't tell you for the life of me why this keeps happening as I'm editing. I'm going back and looking at it. But basically, I said I like how the Lions jerseys look sleek and how the colors mesh together well. The Baltimore Ravens are up next, and I really like the way they use the purple. The uniforms are great, and they managed to make purple look menacing, which I really like. I love the way they design these, and I think it's great. The New Orleans Saints are up next, and I really like these uniforms. The colors are great with the black and the gold, and I think it's just an overall better version of the Raiders jerseys. And they actually have the logo on the jersey. The uniform in general is just nicer. I like the way the shine of the gold meshes with the black, so I think they're overall just good jerseys, and they deserve their spot in A tier. Okay, I accidentally had two of the jerseys switched out, so if you noticed which one it was, let me know in the comments. But first up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in S tier. I really like the way the colors complement each other. I think it has a sleek design and it's very simple, yet they pull it off well. And I think it adds a menacing feeling to the team and it looks great on the field. So I think it deserves an S tier. So again, another problematic audio clip. Um, but the Falcons have really nice jerseys. They look sleek. They have sharp edges. I like the way the numbers are done, and they just look great overall. One of the most menacing and cool jerseys and uniforms in the league. Last but certainly not least are the Pittsburgh Steelers. I love the way they use the black and yellow here. So they don't manage to look like bees like some other uniforms, but they are great uniforms. I think they're simple, but the design makes them look like one of the most scary teams in the league, and I really like that for them. So I think they deserve their spot in S tier. All right, and I can't believe it, but my outro didn't record as well. But let me know how you guys like the list. Let me know if you would change anything in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.